4 shots in that opening 15, 20 minutes. Obviously, that's the home crowd, the support they had. But I thought Arsenal, once they settled into the game, created that first chance, then I thought they dominated the end of that first half.
Anita, the one thing that they didn't want to do is give Arsenal any kind of advantage, and they gave away a penalty. Was it a wrong decision for you?
Yeah, I think it was the right decision in the end. And the defender, Provo, the centre-forward, would feel a little bit unfortunate because, it potentially skimmed the top of his head before it makes contact. It came from the pressure that Arsenal was applying from set pieces. They had a number of corners towards the end of that first half. And, you see as the ball arrives here, his arm is up in the air and, that is the law of the game, unfortunately. But as a defender, I would feel that, pretty aggrieved from that situation because I think it does make contact with the head first.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's their own fault. They give away 7 corners in about 15 minutes, and you give these guys that many looks. He's just saying there, I promise they hit my head first. And I kind of agree with him, but what a penalty from Saka. Absolutely no denying that brilliant finish.
Yeah. The good news for Arsenal fans is once they get their noses in front, they usually go on to draw even more blood and win games and see them out. And do you think that's what Arsenal are going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a sort of professional first half performance from the team. They were finding their feet, getting the rhythm. Saka was causing a lot of problems. Declan Rice has been busy. He's had a lot of successful passes playing forward. And it's just whether or not Slavia Prague can keep up that intensity of managing their movement.
Yeah. How's their fitness? That's what we need to know in the second half. Arsenal, of course, with changes that they can make as well, with so much quality on the bench. But for now, after the first half, it is 1-0 so far to Arsenal. You don't need to give them any opportunities, but this was the one that was given to them by Slavia Prague, a penalty that Bukayo Saka decided, yeah, thank you. 1-0, courtesy of a Saka penalty given away by a handball in the first half. No shots on target for Slavia Prague yet. Arsenal with 5. 4 of those have come from Bukayo Saka. And the good news, the good omen for Arsenal fans, every time Arsenal have scored first this season, they have gone on to win. So, have I just caused an upset for Arsenal tonight? I'm sure they haven't. Let's get into the second half and get back to your commentary team. It's Martin Keown, but first of all, Sam at the base.
Thank you very much, Laura. I don't think anyone can remember the last time that Arsenal lost a game. It was so long ago. 4-0 on their last visit. They also beat Slavia Prague 7-0 at the Emirates 18 years ago. So the Gunners have punished the hosts before. They did have to deal in that first half with a 6'6" brute in Thomas Horry. Martin Keown, as a central defender yourself, how do you think they dealt with him in that first 45?
I think it was tricky at the beginning, but they're not getting quite so tight to him now. I think that's the way to play him. Try and stay away from him. He's a tricky customer. He's testing the referees, falling the referee. Look, he's just bringing them together. That's a nice idea. I don't think change the game plan, though, for this giant of a centre-forward. He's trying to fall over somewhere and get a penalty for his team. So just be a little bit careful in this second half.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? The referee instructing Corey and Gabriel to go over on the halfway line, embrace one another, shake hands and get on with the second half. They obviously have got a well acquainted in that first 45. Look at the way that Slavia Prague have lined up on the halfway line. I think we know what's coming here. Markovic will look to try and kick out towards this near side. Horry will go up with Saliba. Just try and gain a little bit of yardage. It's an Arsenal throw, though. They do win tonight, Arsenal. They'll have 12 points in the bag with 4 to play. That makes the next couple of games against Bayern Munich and Inter Milan in particular a little bit less pressurised. Here's Declan Rice. Leandro Trossard with a lovely delivery, and Marino is there. He was onside and on point. Mikel Marino playing that role. Once again delivering for Arsenal when they need him the most. They appreciate him, and Arsenal take a 2-goal lead, seconds into the second half.
Well, clinical play from Arsenal. Marino, this man, you know, we talked, didn't we, before the game? I did him a disservice. I said he only scored 7 last year. Of course, it was more than that. Just checking to make sure he's onside. Looks good to me. Wonderful ball in. It's just a little side foot. Tucks it into the goal. Trossard, don't underestimate him, by the way. And a lovely finish.
Well, a strong end to last season. 7 goals in his final 18 appearances from February onwards. 9 goals all campaign. His only Arsenal goal this season was the equaliser against Newcastle, but he did get a hat-trick, a first Spain hat-trick against Turkey earlier in the campaign, and he can finish.
Yeah, a makeshift striker. You don't want to have to use him, but he's that tool in the box that can come in occasionally and fill the gap for Arsenal.
Just 36 seconds into the second half, and Arsenal are 2-0 up, and that just changes the Slavia Prague approach now. Greater urgency to get on the score sheet from the hosts. Lupek with the short throw in this time. Provod really deal with that the way they wanted to. Saka complaining he didn't think it should have been a throw-in. Immediately they look for the bench to make a change, and the huge 6'6" striker Thomas Corey is coming off, and he is going to be replaced very early in the second half. And Martin, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with the Arsenal goal. It looks more like an injury.
He does. In fairness, he looks as if he's injured. You are a little bit restricted, though, with him up top. Not necessarily got the legs running into channels. And that game plan hasn't worked, so it's a change of plan here. got to get back into this game.
Well, Hüttel is coming on in his place. He'll try and attack this set piece. Timber does well. There's a bit of a pull in the back. Provod penalised for the second time.
This referee is very good at the dark arts, isn't he? Assessing it well. To be honest, I think that was a little bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
It might have been a little bit more in favour of Jurien Timber committing the foul there than Provod. Arsenal might have been a little bit fortunate. Zaliek, big little back heel to find Moses, won by Marino. Safiris with the foul. We talked about how it is for a central defender to deal with a brute like Horry, but how is it for a central defender to try and mark a fella like this guy? He's not really an out-and-out forward. He'll drift in and out of position.
Marino, yeah, a difficult one. I mean, you know, I was always happier to have somebody up against me. Of course, in the old days, it was 2 strikers, then it became 1. And now, some teams don't play, they play with a false 9. So tricky, it can be tricky. I'd rather have somebody up against me, in all honesty.
Capio. So I wanted to take the throw in quickly, but it's gone the other way. It's going to be a Slavia Prague throw.
Of course, these Arsenal players are all very proud. It's not just the defenders are proud of this clean sheet record. Everybody is, but it's particularly the notoriety comes for the defenders. They don't necessarily get the credit for the goals, whether they chip in from set pieces, so they'll be wanting to keep a clean sheet tonight.
If they do keep a clean sheet tonight, it will be their 8th in a row and would match a defensive record set in 1903.
I wasn't at the club at that point, so I can't tell you anything about that.
Was that when you went away to Aston Villa?
Yes. Goodness me. 1903.
Well, the last time they were close to being this resolute was 1987. Kenny Sanson, John Lukic, Tony Adams, O'Leary were still in the squad. Gus Caesar actually started the League Cup final that year. Nigel Winterburn played as an emergency right back during that run. Lee Dixon hadn't quite made it into the team back then. It would end up being the bedrock of title challenges in later years and the foundations of that famous...
It's a good shout for Gus Caesar, by the way, one of my youth team colleagues back in the day. Good knowledge.
Ryan looking for Trossard, just bumped his way past Wiltek. It's not the best of back passes. Marino is going with Markovic, who uses his head. It's Norgard. Didn't have the ability, even if he saw the opportunity, to try and lift it back over the goalkeeper. Just was being closed down. Here's Provod at the other end. Moses alongside him. Provod. Sanyang trying to tee it back for Zafiris. The block tackle by Saka spills the ball out to the far side. Still not clear. Sanyang chasing. Almost came through to Hüttel.
Well, we talked about defending there, and I think Saka typified how you need everybody to toe the line defensively when you're under the cosh. Great tackle from him. Look at him there, look, edge of the box. Put some body on the line.
That's gone out for a corner. Sadliek to take. Zima running towards that near post, a little flick on by Provod. Bodji trying to get something on there, looked as if there was a hand. The referee certainly thought so too. It's been an Arsenal free kick. Limbs everywhere.
Well, he's saying it's a hand.
It's a Slavia Prague hand.
Well, let's take his word for it.
Wilczek is down inside the penalty area, asking for a brief delay. Hendrich to Puszkowski was very complimentary about Arsenal yesterday. He cited their match with Atletico, saying that when you look at Diego Simeone's side, defending quite well in the match, still lost 4-0 because Arsenal are so sophisticated with the way they managed to find a way to unpick you. There's a robustness and a resoluteness about Arsenal which gives them the platform on which to then go and prize open even the toughest of defences.
Well, I think if you look at the front three tonight, this was obviously the answer to a manager that really had one arm tied behind his back at the end of last season. So it's more than good enough to get a result here tonight, but he'll want the other players back again that are injured.
Marino wants a foul. We were talking in the first half, Martin, about that triangle over on this right-hand side. And we could hear Mikel Arteta shouting at Ethan Nwaneri, move, move, trying to get him to come deep, link the play between Timber and Marino. Do you think he needs to force his way into the game a little bit more?
I think so. I mean, if you compare Nwaneri to Ødegaard often comes out on this right-hand side, very close to Saka, but they need Timber as well to get down the line. And you know, Nketiah was going down the left, but I think Timber, if he goes and you get that 3v2 on the sides, it'd be easier for Nwaneri to get on the ball.
Raya forward, Bodji away. It's the most convincing clearance, and it wouldn't come down for Marino. Had a heavy touch, tied it up by Norgard before Slavia Prague can go on the attack. Marino's got it again. Sanyang looking to try and create something for Slavia Prague. Hutel. It's a good ball by Zafiris to find Sanyang again. Equally good defending by Jurrien Timber, although the referee has penalised him for the second challenge.
Arteta demanding, isn't it, more from his team.
He doesn't want him to take the foot off the gas, does he?
No, he doesn't want to invite his opponent on. Timber actually initially gets the ball here. And I'm just looking to see, I think it's just like a tug on the arm a little bit. Maybe he makes a lot of it.
It's a little bit soft, isn't it?
It is, but the referee's given us a whole lot tonight. Or Arsenal, shall I say.
Try and be professional, Martin.
I thought I was, Sam.
Zafiris. It's a deeper delivery, a good delivery. And well dealt with by Saliba, who played it off the defender, or certainly thought he did. Goes out for a corner kick. Just starts to raise the noise behind the goal away to our left. There's Slavia Prague ultras all dressed in black. Made one hell of a din tonight. And they would love to score against the Arsenal. Not going to do it from that. Sadly, slipped as he tried to get the corner in. Away by Timber. And again. Provod will get it back to his goalkeeper. Norgard. This is Nwaneri. Marino. And Capio getting up on that left-hand side again. Just to see, we haven't seen Miles Lewis-Skelly from the start again tonight. Hasn't been able to start too many games. I wonder whether we'll see him in the latter stages of this one.
An interesting one, isn't it? When you come in, do so well, and I'm pretty certain he's highly thought of, and they'll use him at some point.
Still very young, isn't he?
I like Hincapié, though. He's aggressive, he can play central defence, gives you a lot of that options across the back line. Needs minutes as well, of course.
So brings you title-winning experience from Leverkusen. Kapelek trying to find Kittel. Two Slavia players run into one another, and Saka now trying to get the wrong side of him. Bodji looking to find the finish, but couldn't steer it beyond Markovic.
No, lovely movement off the ball there. Declan Rice that found the pass.
Provod. Bit of space for Bodji to run into. Trying to steer it into a dangerous area. Kittel is there, and so was Gabriel. Well, he did just enough. It was a dangerous-looking ball to find that man, Momir Kittel.
Slavia Prague moving the ball really quickly, just 2 passes. Gabriel there again, just to shut the door at the back post. This is this ball from Declan Rice. Saka onto it. Just hits it into the ground, takes the sting out of it. And this is Gabriel at the back post, just getting that challenge in. Look at that, excellent timing. There's a man at the top of his game right now.
His quality's been on display. Whoever has been alongside him this season, Saliba or Mosquera. Such an asset at both ends of the pitch. Marino felt he was pushed in the back. It's quite obviously the case. And it's another free kick for Mikel Arteta's team. Another thing that the Slavia Prague manager said yesterday, Turbashovsky, was that Arteta was thriving because he's had a core group together for a long time. Here is Hincapié, one of the newer members of the team.
Without doubt, it's a picture that's been coming together, isn't it? This jigsaw puzzle, piece by piece.
Those two are always adept at dealing with any threat. They've got the pace and the speed and the awareness, Gabriel and Saliba.
I think Norgard has slotted in really nicely as well there this evening. Not easy for him coming in to the team.
Moses on the hunt.
Saliba again just checking the run. There's so much pace about these central defenders.
And it's a sign of the depth of the squad that they can turn to the bench and bring on £65 million asset in Eberici Eze.
But of course at Crystal Palace he was used to playing every game, so he'll be a useful player just to slot in.
Be interesting to see who he replaces, Martin.
Well, the manager has to manage the minutes of these players. Is it Declan Rice? Do you want to take him off to give him some rest? Played in every game this season.
It's brilliant strength from Saka. Absolutely terrific. Timber striving forward now. Joining is Trossard. Just trying to nudge it. Didn't quite work out for him, but Arsenal kept their relentless pressure up. Trossard. This is Saka. He's got the beating of Bodji. Still bobbling around, and Bodji will get it a second time. Saliba will keep it in. Jurrien Timber. He's just trying to charge his way through the entire back line there, Timber.
I think he's just enjoying himself, Timber. He's going to get back now, though.
Provod. Well, this is what Arsenal are so good at, Martin. I mean, David Raya, maybe a little bit busier than usual in the first half, but most of the time he's just a spectator watching what happens in front of him, because Arsenal allow very few chances. No shots on target again tonight.
Well, they just strangle their opponents. In the duels, they're excellent. Lots of pace and stable at the back. The fullbacks get forward. Front players, I mean, Trossard is just, for me, I think he's so underrated. This man, Saka, he's almost unplayable at times.
Here's Norgard. Look at the numbers that are being committed forward now. Norgard just couldn't quite have the range of pass to find Declan Rice, who'd made a really interesting run.
Just one pass away there from perfection.
It's Ethan Nwaneri who is going to come off. A bit of a tussle between Gabriel and Kittel. Has already been booked, Ethan Nwaneri. Scored a terrific goal against Crystal Palace the other week, didn't he, Baricci Eze?
So powerful since he's been at the club. Game changer.
Nicolas Jaubert just organising the defensive set piece here as Zafiris tosses this ball in. Might drop for Kittel. Trying to turn it around the corner for Mboji. Arsenal again just quite happy to shepherd that behind.
You say that, but Timber's used his body beautifully there. So strong.
That's what he does. He uses his frame just to help it out of play. He's always in the right position. He's so good offensively and defensively. That's given away rather cheaply, and Raya had to react very quickly.
Yeah, he took a bit of a liberty there, just took a little tad too long. He just gets away with it.
Very, very lucky. Sniffed out by Lucas Provod. Maybe he just wanted something to do, Martin.
I think Provod has been their best player tonight. Of course, a game they've been second best in every department.
It's a historic club, Slavia Prague. It's their third Champions League campaign. They haven't won in any of their last 14 matches in the competition. It's the longest winless run of any side that is in this season's Champions League.
Well, this looks a little bit worrying because Trossard's holding the back of his right leg. I'm hoping it's a contact. It looks like it is. He's on his feet, but do you rest him? I think that might be part of the conversation right now.
Big game against Sunderland coming up before the international break, and the matches after we return certainly have a menacing look about them. North London derby, game against Chelsea, game against Bayern Munich in this competition. Not that anyone frightens Arsenal right now. Jurrien Timber. Rice looking to steer that through towards Marino, and it's in, and it's him again. It's another Declan Rice assist, another Marino goal. The goalkeeper came out, committed himself, but awesome, irrepressible Arsenal are almost unstoppable right now. Those 1,200 Arsenal fans that have made the journey are relishing the prospect of another Champions League victory. And Mikel Merino is enjoying that second goal of the night.
Yeah, and I think you see the development. Declan Rice, lovely ball in. The goalkeeper, he's in no man's land. He's got no right to come for that. But look at the creative pass, and Merino, look, just gets a nod on it. The keeper's going to take that in his arms. He's not even at full stretch. And he's made to look stupid by Arsenal.
It's the bravery of Marino, it's the quality of the ball, and there's a little bit of naivety from Jakub Markovic, who hadn't conceded a goal in his 5 previous games. He's been picking the ball out of his net for fun tonight.
Well, I wonder if that's the signal now for the manager to make some more changes.
Everything is going their way.
Interesting the way that Declan Rice has actually developed, Sam, since he's been at Arsenal. You know, box-to-box player now. Quite often people saw him, didn't they, as a player that would just sit deep in that midfield, but now he's getting forward and he's that range of passings there now.
Yellow card for Safiris. Talks about Declan Rice. Certainly, Slavia Prague manager was scared of him. Since he started taking corners for Arsenal, he has managed to score more. He's managed to create more goals than any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues from set pieces. And that is some achievement.
Well, I think they went to Dubai and he came back, didn't he, suddenly taking all of these set pieces, and he's been quite magnificent since.
But it's not just the set pieces, is it? His overall gameplay has improved immeasurably over the last 2 years.
Without doubt. It kind of looks like a modern-day Brian Robson for me. I think that's steel, a defensive ability. Here he is again, look, another range of passing. It's right on the money.
Substitution for Slavia Prague. Dudira comes on to replace Vilutek. Immediately goes into the back line. Here's Eze. Little flick to Saka. Saka trying to cause problems for Mboji. It's good from Sanyang. Nkapie. That was a little bit late from Moses.
Well, the referee is on the scene quickly, and Nkapie reads it beautifully, and then he's just completely taken out. Just see here, they just nips in front, and then, in fairness, I think it's an accident. He's trying to put the brakes on Moses. Nonetheless, he still takes Nkapie out. I think he's going to be okay.
Max Daumann has come onto the field for Arsenal, and as a result of that becomes the youngest player ever to play in the Champions League. Leandro Trossard goes off, the first 15-year-old to play in this competition. He made his Premier League debut against Leeds. He's now making a Champions League debut. On comes Ben White and Miles Lewis-Skelly, who we do now see. It is that signal, as you suggested earlier on, that third goal means that they can rest 1 or 2. Nkapie, Trossard and Timber are the men that are coming off here.
Well, sensible, got to make the changes. Nkapie is okay, actually. Lewis-Skelly could just slot into there. Incredible to see Daumann, so young, coming into the team.
I don't think we can underplay that, Martin. He's 15 years and 308 days old. Born on New Year's Eve 2009. In European competitions, the youngest player to make an appearance for Arsenal before him was Jack Wilshere. 16 years and 329 days. So he's the youngest ever player for Arsenal in this competition as well. But then again, you would be if you were the first 15-year-old to do it.
Well, he's a remarkable talent, and you have to say he deserves the opportunity. Of course, he has to be protected, and they tried to do that. I think he even wanted to play him last season. You know, that, can you believe it?
Well, more changes here. Hashioka, who had a spell at Luton, is coming on. Those 3 changes for Arsenal have now been made. Moses has hurt himself in the process of committing that foul on Nkapie. And he's going to be replaced as well. Well, we've got some big football just about to reach your screens tonight in the Champions League, but on the weekend, Tottenham Hotspur take on Manchester United, Saturday, 11 AM, TNT Sports 1. And we've got a huge weekend coming up in the Quilter Nations Series Rugby. 6 matches exclusively live across TNT Sports and Discovery Plus, including a showdown at Murrayfield between Scotland and New Zealand, followed by England against Fiji at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Well, that there is Kusai, and he has racked up more goals than anybody else for Slavia Prague this season. I just wonder if his introduction's just a little bit too late, Martin. He goes in behind Hyttel and alongside Provod as one of the 2 number 10s in the Slavia Prague team.
Well, yes, but they want to restore some pride, going well in their own domestic league, as you say, just went top at the weekend. Interesting that Saka has gone out to the left-hand side so that the young man can play on the right, his preferred side, to Dowman.
It's a yellow card for Christian Norgard. Can't believe that the foul's gone against him. He thought it was going for him. This is why.
Well, I think he's right. In all honesty, I mean, he's been fouled, actually, you could argue, twice.
Just wonder if it was the stretching that he did to connect with.
Well, he gets to the ball. I think he gets to the ball there.
He certainly thinks that he's been hard done to. They want to preserve this clean sheet. They want to set this record. Slavia fans trying to encourage their team to try and upset the balance. Kusai plays it to Provod. Kusai again. Provod's ball into the box is inaccurate, and there'll be an Arsenal goal kick away to our left.
Another look at this goal. Nice Marino finish. Trossard, excellent ball into the box. And the goalkeeper here, I'm really not sure what the goalkeeper's thinking there. Marino gets on the end of this nice little habit of getting on the end of those crosses and through balls.
It's been the perfect night for Arsenal, hasn't it? 3 goals, makeshift striker, able to deal with the injuries that have befallen them in the last couple of weeks. The suspension to Zuba-Mendy tonight, who I think's got a little bit of a problem as well. They brought on this lad, Max Dowman, who's very well thought of and brilliant at doing just that, which is winning fouls.
Yeah, that's the worry, though, is, you know, he's brilliant as he is, he always seems to get kicked. He just leaves it quite late to release the ball. Rides it quite well, I'm sure, but he's on his feet, that's good news.
It's Mohamed Cham who's come on. He replaced Safiris. Moses off and Hashioka on another change in that batch of changes over the 73rd, 74th minute mark. This is Timber. To Rice. To Max Dowman. It's another foul on him.
He just tempts the defender in every time. He does it brilliantly. Look, just moves the ball, invites the defender to go for it, and buys a free kick. I just hope this doesn't get injured when he's in the process. Don't want to repeat myself here, but this player is. It is unique to see someone of this age.
Well, he's a precocious talent, and there will be people who are worried about him playing in men's football at 15 years of age, but you were talking to me about how physical he was as well, and his development physically over the last few months has been quite rapid.
He's ready. There's no doubt he's ready.
Slavia Prague have got to be ready for another Arsenal set piece. Kayo Saka to take it. A clutch of dark blue shirts at the far post looking to pounce. to be able to pounce on that. It was a foul. It's a yellow card for Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's been quite card-happy tonight, Martin. I think Arsenal got to be a little bit careful in the closing stages here, not to get themselves into any disciplinary trouble. Declan Rice is one in particular I'm thinking about, because if he was to be booked, he would have missed the Bayern Munich game.
100%, just do the job, see it through. Skelly coming on doesn't really want to get involved in any disciplinary matters. Of course, you want Declan for the next game.
Sadliek. Mboji. Kusei. Gives it away to Christian Norgard. And here's Max Daumann. Threatening that Slavia Prague defence again. Brushes off Provod. Kusei nabs it. Shows a little bit of experience. But he's in the thick of the action. And it's a magic moment for him.
Well, he needed two players to stop him, that's for sure.
Still making yet another change, and bringing on yet another youngster. On comes Andre Harriman Anus, and he comes on for Declan Rice. Another good performance for him, and maybe Mikel Arteta just taking a precaution with Declan Rice with 10 minutes to go. A big game against Sunderland at the weekend, and knowing that he's teetering on the brink of a yellow card. Anus comes on. He was very impressive in the game against Brighton in the League Cup last week. He made his senior debut in that Carabao Cup match. Immediately into the thick of the action.
Well, it's given the manager another option in a difficult situation with a striker injury that they have. Anus did exceptionally well against Brighton, so his confidence is up.
He's tall, he's rangy. He's gone straight through the middle. It means Marino's just dropped a little deeper. Another graduate of the famed Hale End Academy. Starting to produce a bit of talent on a regular basis now, Martin.
For sure, without doubt. It's coming together. There's another man there, Skelly. I think when you look around the team, having done it, come through the youth team, and you see your colleagues out there, it's a nice warm feeling for you, and they really, the club is going through their veins, isn't it? Come through all the rank, every step of the ladder, so to speak. It's the fan on the pitch almost.
Sadliek. Cham turns it round the corner. Ashioka. This is Dudera. Pushing and shoving on Kittil. Saka manages to play it against the Slavia Prague defender, despite a couple of catcalls that he might have used his arm.
Did that come off the arm, Sam?
Let you be the judge, Martin. You're the expert.
No, he's fine.
Dudera's in the ear of the referee. The yellow card has come out.
He's just got fed up with it, the referee, hasn't he? They've all been around him all evening, complaining, moaning.
Well, Dudera actually told a story in the press conference yesterday that when he's playing FIFA with his brother at home, or FC 25 as it is now, he always tries to buy as many Arsenal players as possible because he thinks they're the best.
There's only you that's seen that story, surely.
Kittel trying to charge into the box. Aiming towards Probod. There was an arm up there, and it's a penalty. Now, Ben White was in contact with Probod. It might have been the kick out from Ben White. The hand looked as if it was by the Slavia Prague player, to be honest. Gabriel's not happy. And Arsenal won't be happy because they're trying to set a new clean sheet record. Five weeks and 2 days since they last conceded. Nick Voltemade, the last player to score against them. And the referee just consulting with the VAR here to decide whether or not this penalty call is going to stand.
Well, for me, the hand...
It's not a penalty, is it?
Well, unless it's a foul first. Is that what he's saying, that it's a high foot? But he doesn't make contact.
When he plays the ball, his foot is in a high position.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But I don't think it's a penalty.
They're both going with their foot at the same height. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you run the risk if you have your foot that high, Martin. But I think he gets the ball first, and the hand is actually a Slavia Prague one. There is a brief penalty check. The referee is trying to organise the players to go back and get ready. I think he's going to have to overturn this.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And Arsenal are very proud of this record.
A nervous wait on the bench. I think he's going to overturn it. Yeah, he's coming over to the monitor. Rob Deeperink, the VAR has called over Aliar Agayev just to review the decision. I'd be surprised if he doesn't change his mind.
Well, there's no contact on the player. It's a great block, and then it comes off the player's hand, the attacking player, so it can't be a penalty.
Now the referee shakes his head, walks in. And he's calling over Lucas Probod here, who is the captain. I think he's going to explain the decision to Bukayo Saka and Lucas Probod here before he decides to let everybody else know his final decision. I think he's explaining that it's not going to be a penalty, and that is the case. No penalty, and Arsenal's clean sheet record may well be set. Maybe sometimes it's just written in the stars, but it's definitely the right decision.
It's the right call, Sam, at the end of the day. Much as these local fans don't agree.
Well, I don't even think that the Slavia Prague bench are complaining too much.
No.
And it means it's another game where Arsenal don't concede a shot on target, although we do have 3 minutes or so to go. Well, they're joint favourites for the Champions League, favourites for the Premier League, favourites for the League Cup. It has the potential to be a season to remember. They might not win everything, but they look on course to win something.
There's an awful long way to go, Sam, as you know. It's a fantastic start to the season when you consider the Premier League, all the fixtures that away from home and the way they negotiated that. But there's injuries again, so it's a concern for the manager, but this gives him time, doesn't it? A very vital 3 points here, by the way, before you play Bayern Munich next.
Absolutely, it takes them on to 12 points at this stage of the competition. That is quite something, especially bearing in mind a lot of the models suggest you only need 15 to go through directly to the last 16. But they look in great shape, and they're on a brilliant run. This is Eze. Remember, this team haven't lost here in this stadium since December 2024.
It's another statement of intent from Arsenal. I wonder if we're looking a little bit at the future here with Saka out on that left-hand side and Max Darman on the right.
Well, hopefully they'll get a few back after the international break. Noni Madueke, Kai Havertz not too far away. That's the hope, anyway. So many injuries at the moment. They'll hope that Gyökeres isn't too damaged and can come back sooner rather than later. Almost one back by a noose. Markovic. Marino. Kissel trying to help that through, and it's studied up by Gabriel, who's been immense at the back again tonight. A little bit of showboating from David Raya.
I'm not sure that was deliberate, actually. Maybe that was the first touch.
Let's give him credit, come on, let's be nice.
Well, he dealt with it well, yes. It's interesting, Arteta, we're watching him, aren't we? Charge up and down this technical area.
He'll be in there later.
Goodness me.
Well, the Arsenal fans that have been enjoying Wenceslas Square and all of the little lanes off of the main drag have been engaging rather nicely with the locals.
It's all gone a bit shirty, hasn't it?
5 minutes of added time to play. Arsenal frustrated, they have foiled, they have discouraged. And in the end, once more, they have stonewalled the opponent.
And their willingness to keep working hard as well. The substitutes have come on. We mustn't forget the goalkeeper in all of this. Whenever he's been called upon, and this record of, it's always a world-class save. He doesn't want to be the weakling behind this defence.
13 unbeaten, 10 straight wins, top of 2 leagues. Some run. Another set-piece goal. Well, sort of. Another clean sheet. Certainly Arsenal should get those trademarked the way that they are owning them right now. Is handball maybe the turning point?
He's involved in every major incident.
As a chasing. Zima goes across.
I think Arteta will be absolutely delighted with his team and the contribution of the group, because it's a real strength. You know, he went into the transfer market in the summer and made some really good acquisitions. But, you know,
his celebration the other week when they beat Crystal Palace, all of his coaching staff, all of his team, he really was delighted to go over the line in that game. He was absolutely proud of the performance up at Burnley at the weekend.
Skelly doing really well there. This is the quality of the player that's coming on. You know, he's got a really strong group here now. But he's got to keep them fired up. He's got to keep spinning all these plates. Keep them at their peak.
Arsenal about to go top of the Champions League table. For now, at least. It's going to be a 4th straight win in this competition. They've done it without Gyökeres, they've done it without Ødegaard, they've done it without Zubamendi, done it without Madueke and a fair few more. They've brought on the first 15-year-old to play in the Champions League.
I think the club can be very proud of that. And the group as well that's followed. You know, there's a group of players out on this pitch who could be playing in the under-21s or the youth team.
Max Dowman is only recently an under-19 international.
I hope he's not going to be late for school tomorrow.
Mikel Arteta doesn't tolerate lateness. I think he might get special dispensation. Here's Provod. Goes out for a corner. And the bare-chested fans behind the goal rather enjoyed that. Haven't had much to shout about this evening. Bright start, but that fizzled out very quickly. Corner into the near post, dealt with by a noose. We're only 15 seconds away from playing out 5 minutes of added time. Slavia Prague, the only unbeaten side in the Czech league. They've got a bit of a lesson tonight. David Raya eventually has some work to do. That's the first shot on target. There's a bit of afters off the ball. Was Mbodji who had it, and he's going to get a yellow card just for good measure.
Well, there you see it there. Gabriel's willingness to make that block, that desire to get in the way of it. Mbodji then getting wrapped up in it. But look, he's come out, he's made the block, and then he's... I think there's an issue because Mbodji's saying he's been fouled, and he clearly hasn't been.
Sunderland at the weekend, a 2-week break for internationals, then they come back with huge fixtures. Tottenham, Chelsea and Bayern Munich in quick succession. But it's job done in Prague, and it's 10 out of 10 for Arsenal, who maintain their 100% record in the Champions League. It's 10 wins in a row in all competitions, and Mikel Arteta's team match a club record 8 clean sheets in a row. No wonder they're being touted for domestic and European success. They strangled Slavia Prague. They scored 3 goals. They brought a 15-year-old onto the pitch as well. And 2 of those goals came from their makeshift striker. It's finished in the Czech capital.